Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2006 here in TEW 2020, and it's time for Clash of the Champions 2006 live from the sold-out PNC Arena in beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina. But before we get to that, it's time for a little bit of going over the awards that are up for the next couple days. So first we have a Feud of the Year, which is, so let's just get rolling. So again, Feud of the Year is different from Angle of the Year or Moment of the Year. For example, like there's moments involving, say, Sting, that are positive this year. Obviously big world title changes, stuff like that. And like storylines, like I guess like you could sort of say like AJ Styles' rise or RVD's slow burn heel turn. Those are more angles and feuds. And like honestly, I could have thrown the whole like basically top of the card faces versus heels on Revolution as a feud, but there wasn't as much clear. Like basically, hey, it's AJ, it's Paul London, it's Ray Jr. and Tournament some weeks, Monty Brown some weeks, Chuck Palumbo. So that was just like, it was just more of like, hey, I have a bunch of top guys, but like just back and forth feuds. But anyways, go over the actual possible award winners. First, we have America's Most Wanted versus the Hardys versus NKO. So, you know, lots of tag title changes. AMW Hardys eventually end up in a cage match, and KOs end up as the tag team champions, two-time tag team champions, and eventually lose the titles at Stargate. So, like, sort of that whole basic, like, fall-in, you know, Hardys win the title in the summer. They defend them a couple of times. AMW eventually want their shot, and that builds up to NKO also wanting a shot, and then everything getting wild with multiple title changes, which some people enjoyed and some people did not. Then we got Brother Ray versus Chosen Few, which basically was like the entire spring and summer, and yeah, basically part of the spring, most of the summer, and the fall until Brother Ray versus Jeff Jarrett in the big cage match. And I could have included the other faces, but they sort of like came in and out. You know, Truth, Gigantes, Ken Anderson even. I think Tajiri was around for a couple, at least one big match versus the entirety of the Chosen Few. You know, Jarrett, Jindrak at the time, and Divine. Then we got Sling Cartier and Gail Kim. So the reason I did this was like, when I look back, really the only like 2 in a row match feud there really was for the women's title. It was sort of like, you know, bounced around for a bit. I could have gone like Trisha Sky and Gail Kim over the whole year, but I figured this was a little bit better and a little more interesting. It's basically, you know, Cartier won the title match. She, you know, sort of a, you know, a big match, hit the Sleece Duvet on Gail Kim on the outside. Then, you know, in their actual title match in Revolution, Sling Cartier won by DQ. Then basically she already got the same stipulation on her title match as she did as Angel Foxx has tonight on Clash of Champions, and he managed to walk out the title. And it was 2 really good matches. So there you go. Kanyon and Eddie was your, you know, just your typical top guy feuds, both wanting to be the top. But any feud that ends in a cage heat that got a really good rating, I think deserves to be part of the feud of year conversation. And finally, Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Rob Van Dam's former friends turned enemies. You know, RVD turned his back on Ray Jr., teamed up with Heyman. Ray Jr. is pissed about that after he lost the title. You know, RVD made fun of him for losing the title, basically being a 1 month, you know, transitional champ. Well, he won the title at Starrcade and carried it proudly. And then they had their 2 big matches near the end of the year. So there you go. I mean, there's some other stuff that might have popped in there. Like, honestly, like some of the Goldberg stuff with Don Fry, some of Chuck Palumbo's feud through the year. Palumbo's Styles feud I thought, but only really went over a little bit over a month and like didn't really involve anybody. Again, like London versus RVD could have maybe worked, but the RVD thing was more over the overarching his heel turn, and London just showed up as like sort of babyface at the end. So there you go. Then we got the show of the year. So for this, we have basically 5 big pay-per-views. Ironically, it's basically the 5 pay-per-views that there were multiple of those cross-brand shows. Like I didn't plan that. I just sort of looked at the big shows that got the best ratings that had sort of like, you know, I didn't go straight ratings. I also like looked at the cards, and these are sort of like the best big moments here. So, as a reminder for folks, we have Super Brawl, which involved Ray and AJ teaming up to take on Awesome Storm, and sort of like, you know, sort of part of, like I said, that big Revolution top card feud. We had Billy Kidman taking on Paul London before Kidman won the world title. We have AMW defending the titles against Jindrak and Divine in a shockingly good match. We have the sort of blow off of the O'Hare Palumbo feud with O'Hare getting the big win. We have Eddie versus Kanyon as part of their feud that I just talked about. And then we have RVD beating Jarrett to retain the title. It's okay. I didn't realize Jarrett was getting the Super Bowl title shot in 2 straight years. That's interesting. I might have him mention something about that. Then we go to Slamboree, where Booker beat Palumbo in a big match, where he got the title shot at Great American Bash, I believe. The Gail Kim Cartier stuff that I just talked about. The big first aerial assault, Awesome Storm, Heart Legacy, Nikeo, AMW, lots of people die for our sins there. And of course, Billy Kidman versus RVD in 2 out of 3 falls match, where Kidman sort of solidified his title reign after, of course, cashing the win in the first place. Then we have Mayhem, which you know, the Mayhem tournament. London RVD, sort of like a sidetrack of that. Then the final of Styles, Palumbo, Monty, and Evans, where Styles won the tournament, and Rey Mysterio Jr. winning the world title. Then we have Bound for Glory, which of course had Nikita Kalt versus Sky, where Kalt won the women's title. One of the the one big KO AMW Hardy's triple threat match. The Styles Booker Monty Kidman, where Styles Starcade title shot was on the line, and of course Palumbo, London, Brother Ray 100. And then Starcade, which of course just happened, but Hardy and W Cage, Evans versus Eddie, Jarrett Anderson, RVD Ray, the four-way women's ladder match, Styles Palumbo, and everything else good on that show. So there you go. So the video will be up Monday. Show of the year will be up Wednesday. Something will be up Friday, but I'll go over that when I post that follow-up show. And just as a side note before I actually get to the show, really people like the whole me booking Impact thing. So I'm thinking about maybe doing it a little more often than I do with WWE. Maybe going in every couple months. Probably just because I think the game will book it really badly otherwise. I'm really interested in what they do with Levesque because there's like nobody within like 30 points of him. It's like there might be a case where the game just doesn't get him, maybe not even books him or puts him on as interviews. It'll be interesting. And also like there seemed to be some interest in me doing like basically a quasi observer as a PDF. So I don't have a ton of time upcoming in the next couple weeks. What I'll probably be able to do is basically maybe write it up as sort of like a beginning quad middle of the year, so like sort of like summarizing the backstage stuff in the rest of the wrestling world, and maybe do it quarterly, bi-monthly, I don't know, just as time comes up, because I want to write it well. I know, joke about me writing it better than Meltzer, but anyway, but I sort of like want to put it in that sort of like murky voice, because like obviously you can all see what the game is going on, but I want to sort of like convert that into what like the internet wrestling community of the time, because like they would probably in some cases really love this version of WCW, but there'd be other parts of it that they would really hate. So that's also something interesting to look at. Plus around the wrestling world, like there is no indie scene. Like 2005 was really when Ring of Honor and the rest of the indies was really beginning to rise, with just WWE around and TNA doing TNA stuff. So it's interesting, like in a world where like a lot of the big indie stars are either AJ Styles is your WCW world champion, Samoa Joe is over in Japan doing big stuff. Loki I think is out in Mexico being pushed well. Christopher Daniels is Morningstar. So it's the biggest indie star I guess I think is Jason Cross. I think at this point I don't know. I had to double check. But anyway, after that, Rainbow and rolling. Let's get going with the actual show. Like I said, we're live from the beautiful PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. Sold out crowd. And let's get rolling with the actual show. So we start out with a 87 for our opening video, basically focusing on like sort of like the big matches that were like sort of pushed throughout the year as opposed to pushed throughout the month as opposed to even booked on the last show of the cycle. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so RVD Evans, Angle's debut, Nikita Kalt versus Angel Foxx, and of course AJ Styles versus Sean O'Haire for your WCW World Championship. So yeah, that gets an 87. As we move forward to our opening match of the evening. All right, our opening match of the evening is the Hardys taking on the Jet Set of Jason Jet and Kid Cash. Of course, they sort of debuted by attacking, the Hardys, shockingly, causing them to lose the triple threat match, which now give Osei and Skipper the world tag title shot later tonight. Say they want to make a statement, go after the best tag team in the business right away and defeat them. And then, of course, Hardys, of course, accept the challenge because they're the goddamn Hardys. And this match is your sort of like, I don't say your typical, but this is it's not quite a spot fest because like there's some realm of psychology. But, the thing is, like, Jet and Cash are very much, the mid-2000s, spot fest guys. And these are, like, team up. They at least attempt some moves, together. We got, like, a Fisherman Buster into a sort of Northern Light Suplex. We have an attempt at a double finisher when Kid Cash sort of, like, hits his, double jump moonsault after Easy Money nails him with the Easy Driver. We get some back and forth fighting. Hardy's come back with their own double team moves. Matt Hardy is doing some brawling, hitting the side effect. Jeff Jarrett is flying around doing Jeff Hardy things. I'm sure there was a running dive at some point off the barrier. Hardy's did a whisper in the wind. It looks like they're going to get the victory early. With a big swanton, but Jet comes in for the save and breaks it up. Big fighting. things break down. Kid Cash gets a near fall off the dead level, but Jeff Hardy makes a save for his brother. The fighting continues. Jason Jett gets involved, and then we see during the match as part of a spot, him hit his neck really badly off a sort of tempted move from either Matt or Jeff Hardy. We'll see in a second here. Spoilers. But back in the ring, the sort of chaos allows Kid Cash to hit a low blow, hit the dead level, hit the moneymaker, put his foot on the ropes, and get the 1, 2, 3 after a little under 13 minutes. And yeah, a big win in their debut. The Jet Set defeat the Hardys in 13:36. This gets an 82. Cash gets an 81. Jason Jett gets a 70. Jeff Hardy still gets a 98 because he's goddamn Jeff Hardy. And Matt Hardy gets an 87 because of bonuses. And yeah, Jason Jett's considered a neck nerve damage. That's not great. A match got the crowd buzzing. Jeff Hardy's shown in this match because, again, he's Jeff Hardy. And then, let's see here what happened. Okay, he just took a bad bump. All right, so no one's fault. He maybe did a dive on the mat and he landed wrong. Hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully that's one of, there's one of those, 2-3 week injuries, not one of those. He'll be worse for, 6 months. And so Jet and Cash celebrate. Probably Jet's holding his neck a little bit. But, the announcers go over a huge win as they defeat one of the best tag teams in the history of this business, or in this generation, on their first night as a tag team. With some help, of course, but a 70 as they celebrate as we move forward here on Clash of the Champions. All right, in our next match, we have a rematch for the U.S. title, as, of course, Paul London won the title off of Jindrak at Starrcade, and, Jindrak basically cashed in his rematch here. He's now aligned with Chuck Palumbo again, but Palumbo's busy getting ready for his match against Mesias. And this match is basically the same thing as the Starrcade match, but the issue here is it goes a little bit longer than these Starrcade matches, and they sort of blow themselves up here. They do their best. Jindrak does all his power stuff. He throws them around. He hits, big press slams, big suplexes, the crucifix neck breaker. He goes for the mark of excellence early, but London reverses it. London does he's flying around, but they sort of have to start redoing spots. And also, the announcing isn't quite that good yet. Unfortunately, we got Savage, we got Tony Schiavone, and we got our regen Jonathan Figueroa, but these guys are top tier, so sort of they can't quite tell a story. It's still a really good match. It's not a bad match. If you just look at it in ring, it's a very superb match, you would even say. But there's just enough of them blowing up and taking a couple more seconds to do spots. But in the end, Jindrak does sort of get his last burst to win, hit a few big power moves, and go for the mark of excellence one more time. But London turns into a sort of swinging DDT, goes up top, hits London calling 1, 2, 3, and picks up the victory to retain his US title here at Clash of the Champions. And yeah, this gets a 75. 92 for London. Jindrak got a 74. So 83. I don't think it was 8 points worth of damage because of the bad color commentary. Even though this is also a roll, so I don't know what quite happened here. I'm going to accept maybe it was they're both blown up because they got the again, I tried a couple of things here. So Jindrak got penalized for stamina, and even London got penalized for stamina. Is there anything the game didn't warn me? I guess it was because it wasn't beyond their stamina. It was long. But yeah, goes about 16 minutes. London retains, but as London is celebrating with the title, all of a sudden, rolling in out of nowhere, who hasn't really been seen since the draft, is Keenan Sharp, who attacks London, attacks from behind, just begins beating the crap out of him, and locks him in one of his many submissions. And WWE officials come out and sort of pull him off. It seems like Keenan Sharp has made Paul London his target here at Clash of the Champions. And next up is second of our title matches, we just had one, as the social scene of Nikki Radcliffe and Aya Vidal defending titles against Gail Kim and Alli Danger. Of course, Gail Kim and Alli Danger have been teaming up for a while, basically since the summer, as Alli Danger came in as Gail Kim's sort of mentee. They've actually gone a feud with Johnny Lawler and ODB for a bit during the summer. Gail Kim went for the world title again, lost the ladder match. And now, basically, Kim and Danger called out the social scene. Kim gave her, legitimate credentials. And then, in a match, Gail Kim got the win and cheated not because she had to, but because she wanted to. And now we have Kim Danger going after the women's tag team championships of the social scene. And this is sort of an interesting match as, like, just out of kayfabe, Gail Kim's so much better than these girls. Like, Vidal, Radcliffe, and Danger aren't bad, especially like their top roll skills. But Gail Kim's not only more over than they are by a bit, but she's just like better. And like, I wouldn't say you would probably see her like sort of like directing traffic, but like sort of when she's in the ring, like there's some interesting moves, there's some big spots. We got her doing her various DDTs, doing a bunch of head scissors, doing some fun spots. Even her and Danger, tossing Danger in to do some big spots. Going for the what's the word I'm looking for here? Going for sort of her big moves. The sort of like flying dragon. Even going for an air raid crash, which used to be her move in real life, but I'm sort of like using it. Her sort of like has been using it every so often as a shot against Lynx Cartier. But there, the social scene come back, and then like social scene do her stuff. And the thing about social scene is like, in real life, like I don't really have a ton on them, so like I'm making up a lot of it. But like they're scrappy fighters. Like they're underdog bay faces, so they're fighting back, and they're immediately like going for their big moves. Like Annie Vidal's come in and immediately hitting the Kinzig and mouthwash. I imagine some sort of like jawbreaker. No, not jawbreaker. Sort of like some sort of move that hits the teeth. She's hitting the social disorder for a modified stunner. She's trying to lock in the rear naked choke, which doesn't probably have her real life name of the move, but something related to partying. But Gail Kim gets out of it, and even like she hits a few moves. Annabelle comes back, tags in Nikki Radcliffe, and Radcliffe comes in, and she's a bit of a powerhouse. She's a little bigger than the other girls, like not huge, but she's just big enough, and just like comes in and just like comes in, hits a big punching, knocks Kim down. Alli Jr. comes in here, and then everything sort of breaks down as we get to the end of the match here. What happens is eventually Alli Danger is the legal woman after some tags, but things break down. Gail Kim goes up for the eat defeat, but she actually drills Alli Danger with it. Annie Vidal tosses her to the outside, and then Alli Danger walks straight into her finisher, which is a leg trap sunset flip powerbomb, which I need a good name for. And 1, 2, 3, social scene somehow managed to hang on to the tag titles once again here at Clash of the Champions for their third successful title defense. This gets in 78, which is better than the previous match because we didn't have a bad roll for announcing. Because like in every match, like the lack of announcing experience gets dinged, but the sort of like I think if the match is basically better than their announcing and color commentary skills, I think there's a role where it basically does get dinged even more for that or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, regardless, like I said, miscommunication. Alli Danger gets a 56. Gail Kim gets an 87 because this is below her. Honestly, Annie Vidal gets a 67, and Nikki Radcliffe gets a 61. And post-match, the babyfaces celebrate as the announcers put over their strong title reign as the second women's tag team champions in WCW. Next up is a big match between two big men as former WCW World Champion Chuck Palumbo takes on Mesias, who's now on his own and is, I guess, officially a babyface. But it's still just Mesias chokeslamming fools, but now he's against somebody who the crowd hates. So he's now, loved, or at least more loved, because he was sort of a face with Raven because the whole weird thing, even though, I bet you there are parts of the crowd in real life who love that angle and parts of it who absolutely despised it, and who knows, watching the actual show. Anyways, this is like a storytelling match. This is the story here is basically, so of course Mesias was the opponent for Palumbo in his first match after he lost the title on Revolution as part of the draft. Jindrak, basically made his debut as Palumbo's backup here. Jindrak just lost the match, so he's not around. So this is sort of just a fight. This is two big sons of bitches going after each other and just beating the crap out of each other. There's some selling. There's also sort of a slow match. They're really getting their shots in. We get some lots and lots of build up to their big moves. We get a set up for a choke slam through most of the match that Palumbo, basically fights off, goes low, hits his, big moves. He actually goes for the full throttle early, but Mesias basically throws it off. He actually, Palumbo hits a big belly-to-belly suplex on Mesias, and then goes for his sort of what used to be called the Italian drop in real life, and I probably have a good biker move name for it, and actually gets a near pinfall off that. Mesias goes after him, just beating the crap out of him, big boot, clothesline, lariat, fighting, and just throws actually Palumbo out of the ring in a big sort of impressive toss. Mesias goes out, but Palumbo's a son of a bitch of his own, and he's able to. Mesias goes after him, but Palumbo gets out of the way. Palumbo, takes back over. Is actually able to hit a few big moves and actually gets him up for the full throttle. But Mesias kicks out just before 3. Palumbo's shocked, gets pissed at the ref. Mesias gets up, and basically battle. We have a rough bump. Palumbo goes for a chair shot. Mesias blocks it, throws it away. Ref recovers. Chokeslam. Crucifix powerbomb right in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, getting the pinfall victory, is Mesias over former world champion Chuck Palumbo. So this gets 79, which is about what I expected. Mesias. Okay, this is basically we need to rebuild Mesias after a sort of a weird year with him. And Palumbo, I had to correct him, which is why I did this sort of steel chair shot. So because if he would have just maybe gone for a normal move, he could have got the win, but he got cocky because he's a heel. But Mesias gets 72 here. Palumbo gets an 82. Again, heat thing. They also held back to the storytelling match, but still a fun match. And Palumbo, after being basically one of my top feels for the past 6-9 months, can do a job here. Because it's Mesias, even though he's a little bit less over. This is basically, I don't want to say, the Kane thing where Kane could be in a bunch of terrible angles, come out, chokeslam a couple people a bunch of times and be super over again for basically 20 years. But it's kind of that, again, until he's basically corporate Kane anytime could be in the stupidest fucking angles for like a year. But if you just basically brought back the spooky music, give him the mask, and he killed some people for like 2 months, he was one of the biggest guys in the company. Anyway, moving on, we actually have the post-match as Palumbo's pissed because he's Chuck Palumbo, and he just whacks Mesias with a chair a couple times. But here's the problem. Mesias can no-sell that because he's Mesias. And then he destroys Palumbo with a chokeslam. So basically, this is sort of like the blow off to the angle, because of course, you would expect Palumbo to go after him, but this is sort of like the message, hey, Palumbo shouldn't do this because he's really dumb, Mesias will just kill him, make him worse, so there we go. So yeah, fun stuff, fun little opening angle to build up, Mesias is sort of a new guy on Revolution on his own, give Palumbo a post, what's the word I'm looking for here, a post-world title feud, so he didn't have to go right after Styles, and now we'll move on from there. But first, for our next match, we have Billy Kidman backstage with Amy Weber, as she says, Billy Kidman demanded this time on Clash of the Champions, and Kidman says, it is a disgrace and disgusting that Billy Kidman, one of the top stars on Revolution, a former world champion, a man who held this show down for months, has nothing to do at the first pay-per-view of 2006. It is a insult to his talent, to what he's done in this company over the past few years. So, on Revolution, in 3 days, he is going to walk out and challenge anybody who's on the show tonight to a match. And if nobody answers him, they'll just prove that everybody here tonight wrestling is scared of Billy Kidman. Solid back, basically your heel, upset he's not on the show promo. 82, good stuff as we move forward. So our next match is, of course, Booker and Shelton versus Prince Osei and Elix Skipper for the WCW World Tag Team Champions. And I don't know if this match was just really good because I didn't realize that Osei and Skipper had actually gotten over, or if they got accidentally over, or just magically, if I don't have people in silly cruiserweight feuds, they're actually a lot more over if they're wrestling real people. But this match was great. Like, this was a match, like, honest engine, I expected maybe like a 70-75 here. But they just blew it out. And so here's what I'm doing. It's basically Booker T is like not quite TNA, not giving a shit Booker T, because he's still really good and he still gets really good ratings. But he's sort of slowing down. But Shelton Benjamin is freaking Shelton Benjamin. And here's the thing, Prince Osei, I mean, in real life, I bet even Prince Nana would admit this, he was never a great wrestler. But on the other hand, Elix, goddamn Skipper in 2006, can be that guy. So basically, Booker and Osei get their spots, and Osei gets his cheating heel spots, goes after Booker, maybe even goes over Shelton a little bit, maybe tries to out wrestle Shelton, gets killed, but then he does some shitty heel stuff and gets advantage. Brawls with Booker, gets his ass kicked, he comes back, but eventually when it looks like Booker's actually going after him, he tags out to Skipper. But sort of middle of the match, this goes about 14 minutes. I would say the middle 6 to 8 minute portion is just Shelton Benjamin and Elix Skipper having a little mini banger. Just suplexes, flying around, head scissors, Frankensteiners, power bombs, reversals, moves, submissions, all that good shit. And eventually, you know, Booker and Osei come back in for the last little bit. You know, I would imagine Skipper actually getting advantage, tagging Osei, them doing some double team moves. But Osei actually goes for, let's see here. Osei maybe goes for like his finisher, which I'm imagining some of like modified suplex. Shelton Benjamin blocked it, hits a huge, just a huge overhead ability. It's just like Osei flies around and sells big time for it. Booker comes in, fights off Skipper and Osei, throws them around. Skipper eventually, legal man, tags Shelton back in, and then Shelton just drills him with the pay dirt. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, and still World Tag Team Champions, are Booker and Shelton with the big win here. And yeah, let's get to friggin' 85. Again, I was expecting like a 73, 77, and Shelton was even off his game. So maybe he actually, what I think here is that spot from where I'll say he actually sort of does it like sloppily, and Osei like dumps on his head, and like 10 years on Twitter, he talks about it. But yeah, really good match. I mean, shockingly good match. Like, there's a reason why I put this like on the card because I was sort of scared. But yeah, honestly, again, backstage stuff for this. I didn't know what I was going to do with the World Tag Title match this when I originally did the draft, and the whole triple threat leading to Osei and Skipper title match was just something I thought when I was booking that first Revolution or whenever the actual triple threat match was. Jed and because eventually it was going to just be a random attack or them cutting a promo, but I just thought, take advantage. They just put themselves, and honestly, I thought this was to be a filler event. But here's the thing: if Skipper and Osei can do this well regularly, they can be a strong part of the tag division. So, hey, people working the cruiserweight, anyway. Post match, Booker and Shelton celebrate because they're Booker and Shelton, and fun stuff. So 70 overall for that as we move forward here on Clash of the Champions. And next up is what I am happy to tell you is sort of my most thrown together match between big time guys in a while, as Monty Brown takes on Kanyon. As literally Kanyon, was drafted to Revolution, gave his big, I'm a top babyface here, I'll take on anybody, including guys I haven't. Monty Brown was pissed he hasn't been part of Revolution, despite being a big part of it last year. He was arguing with Teddy Long on a last show before the pay-per-view. Kanyon came in, basically agreed to fight him, and here we are. So, Kanyon comes down, big pop, Monty Brown comes down. But here's the thing. Monty Brown looks a little angrier. He looks a little more focused. Honestly, he looks kind of scary. Because here's the thing. Kanyon is a former world champion. He main evented Starrcade. He faced, basically every single top guy in WCW since the reboot here. He was part of the rebuilding of the company. And Monty Brown kicks the absolute shit out of him. This is not pretty. Kanyon tries his best. He's Kanyon. He's still one of the best workers, in game in the company. He's in, basically all our top 5 stuff. And he's carried back to hell. But Monty's just tossing him around. Kane actually gets some offense in the middle of the match. And he, does his big stuff. He does his, big flying forearm, drop kick, takes him down. Big sort of quasi spear, picks him up, flatliner. And then, he gets up. Monty Brown sort of, doesn't get up immediately, but he gets up and Kanyon's ready for him. Cannon cutter. 1. Kick out. Kanyon's shot. He goes for it again, but Monty Brown just stops him and just sort of throws him into the corner. And this happens for the next couple minutes until the end of the match. Kanyon gets a one last flurry and actually hits a flatliner. Brown kicks out just after 2. Kanyon's shocked. Brown just drills him again, hits him with a few big powerhouse moves. And then as he gets up, pounce. 1, 2, 3. In just over 10 minutes, Monty Brown basically destroys Kanyon. 80. Brown gets an 86. Kanyon gets a 95. Gets dinged for the, low, for the short time, I think. Or was it just? Yeah, I think it had to be the short time. Because, it doesn't say here, but, that's the only reason it has to be. Because we didn't get dinged for anything. I'm better announcing. But again, I don't think it's a 10-point ding for better announcing. I think it's just a short match plus that. Anyway, so there's something going on here, which you'll realize as the year goes on. Post-match, Monty Brown celebrates as, the Unders is really put over as he just wrecked Kanyon, nothing. And that's sort of scary. So 73. Next up is our women's title match, as Nikita Kalt defends against Angel Foxx. Of course, Nikita Kalt retained the title at Starrcade after winning the 4-way ladder match, and as part of the 10-man women's tag, Angel Foxx and Celine Cartier were the final 2 survivors. So they got a match title match on Nitro and then on Revolution. But, Kalt actually had to fight a little bit and barely beat Foxx. So Angel Foxx basically called her out and said, she gave Kalt another, if Kalt gave her another title shot and she lost, she would not get another title shot as long as Kalt was the women's champion. So big stakes here for Foxx. Kalt, honestly, I don't say I'm kind of doing Gunther with her because, I'm kind of doing with her and Wright in a sort of weird way. Wright's more of a, sort of despicable heel. And Kalt's a heel. The crowd is booing her. Well, okay, she's hot, so there's still some cheers because she's hot. But, she's evil, uppity German heel. But she's still really good. And that sort of thing here is, she is just immediately going after Fox's knees and shoulders and every part of her, breaking her down. And, she's not a great, techno wrestler, sort of in real life. I think she's better in game. But she does take her down with submissions, takedowns, quick suplexes, sort of locking her in bow and arrow, into some holds, which I'm sure she was taught as she, had more time in developmental in this version reality. But eventually, she begins working the back, because that's what she does. She does back stuff. And Foxx eventually fights back. She fights back, and she's into some fighting. Nikita goes for the icebreaker early on. Foxx turns it into a jawbreaker. Foxx does a couple big moves, bicycle kick, a big spear, head scissors takedown, a little bit. I really should check people's stats so I can know what they actually do. A couple big suplexes, because again, this version of Angelina Love, Angel Foxx, whatever you call her, is actually a better wrestler than real life. And so she hits a few big moves, a big suplex, slides, there's some big pinning submissions. Here's the thing. Foxx is hitting her big stuff. She hits her big lifting reverse STO. She actually locks Nikita Kalt into a modified camel clutch, which the announcers call a Fox Den, and I hope I remember that. But Kalt powers out of it. No cheating, no BS. She just powers out of it. And then, Foxx eventually hits a few big moves and nails the Angel Snap, which I'm saying is now sort of a modified shoulder jawbreaker. And Nikita Kalt just kicks out at a little, 2.8. Angel Foxx goes for it again. Kalt throws her off. Big suplex. Icebreaker. Rolls into another icebreaker. Rolls in sort of a crossface submission right in the middle of the ring. And for nowhere to go, Angel Foxx has to tap out after a little under 15 minutes. And in 83, she gets submission, and Kalt makes defense number 4 of her women's world title. Foxx gets a 70, so not bad. Kalt gets a 93. Again, sort of part of the reason why I gave her the women's title. She was just doing insanely good, and I wanted her to get out the sort of quasi-ghetto of the tag division. So a really big win here, and Kalt defends the tag championship. Again, we got dinged, I think, possibly for announcing, but only for 4 points that time. Kalt's getting better at a gimmick. Again, every match is getting these dinged for poor announcing and very low experience, but I don't know the rest. Also, there's some little slowness at the end. I'm probably giving people too much to do this for wrestling time, but what the hell? It's pay-per-view. Go out there, show yourself off. Post-match, Kalt celebrates as the announcers, sort of sell, who can defeat her. She's beating, she's defeated the best in the world. She's defeated up-and-comers. Who can go out there and actually take her on? Before the next match, we get some drum, some spooky music, some mysterious chanting, some dark, sort of smoky views of a jungle, and then it ends in a couple minutes. In real life, it went 4 minutes because the person I wanted to debut gets bigger, and you can probably guess who's coming with that setup. But this gets a 28 because, again, it's for somebody who's not that over yet. But, they're debuting soon, and we'll just see what happens there. Next up is a really big match here, as Jack Evans, fresh off defeating Eddie Goddamn Guerrero at Starrcade, takes on another sort of modern legend as he takes on Rob Van Dam. Of course, Van Dam and really Heyman basically warned him that, he had his big moment that we remember, and to basically step away. But Evans, is our underdog rising babyface. Because the game loves him for some reason. Again, I still don't know why. His stats are good, but they're not, fantastic. But, he just keeps on having bangers. So we keep on pushing him. And he's, he's quite over. But, it's Jack Evans versus Rob Van Dam in 2006. except Van Dam's like a tippy top guy. Jack Evans has been a rising star, and it's like the third most important match on the pay-per-view. So you can just imagine what like happens there. Like this is like, two men killing themselves. Like, just flying all this up. Like, we got planches, we got topicking healers, we got double jump moonsaults, we got dives through the ropes, we got, brawling, we got Van Daminators, we got rolling thunders, we got leg drops aplenty, we got kicks, we got Rob Van Dam doing his really leading into the, Jean-Claude Van Damme part. We got him like playing like bully heel here as he's, a lot bigger. Well, not a lot, but a decently bigger than Jack Evans. And Jack Evans really, really, really playing underdog babyface, like really selling it, doing his best. But eventually, like, it looks like Van Dam has the win. Like, he kicks the crap out of him. He hits a couple backbreakers. He hits a rolling thunder. And he goes up top. And he goes for the 5-star frog splash. And he absolutely drills Jack Evans with it. Right in the middle of the ring. No denying. 1, 2, 3. No! Jack Evans kicks the damn out at the last possible second. And the crowd is shocked. Crowd's hyped. RVD's pissed. Heyman's doing his, Heyman faces on the outside. And Van Dam, like, sort of just lays into him more. But Evans, like, he picks him up for another, backbreaker for another, big 5-star frog splash. But as he's picking him up, Evans rolls through it, hits sort of like a modified cutter, goes outside, double jump, drop kick, flying aside moonsaults, big running handspring elbow, move after move, and he's doing it, and he's doing it, and he's doing it. And he goes up top, after hitting sort of like a big super kick, a big sort of like modified code red, and he goes up top for the 630 senton. And as a ref is staring at Rob Van Dam down on the mat, Paul Heyman grabs Jack Evans' leg. And Jack Evans looks over pissed, and he goes over to yell at Heyman. And, the ref realizes, maybe Heyman got involved, so he goes over to yell at Heyman. And allows, that distracts Jack Evans, allows Robbie D just enough to shake the ropes again. Evans crouches himself. RVD grabs him from the top rope DDT of Doom, up top, 5-star frog splash, 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Rob Van Dam. He's still the whole fucking show. As it gets an 88, again, there's better announcing, color commentator. Tony Schiavone lost track of the match at some point because, it's Tony Schiavone 2006. There's a reason why he doesn't really do play-by-play anymore in real life. He's more like quasi-color commentator. But yeah, Jack Evans gets a 93. RVD gets a 94, so probably would have been 93 without the ding for that stuff. But yeah, they went 20 minutes. They did not get the stamina ding because, it's RVD and Jack Evans in 2006. But yeah, a big win for Rob Van Dam here. Unfortunately, Jack Evans loses, but hey, he still went toe-to-toe with a former world champion, a man who people other than Paul Heyman still claim is the best wrestler in the company. So hey, not bad. And RVD and Heyman celebrate as youngsters, put over that RVD has, gone with Heyman. He's defeated, his former friends in Paul London and Rey Mysterio Jr., and now he's defeated Rising Star and Jack Evans. And it seems like there might be only one goal left for him. And, it's shiny, it's gold, has a world title name on it. So there you go. And next up, we have a Super Bowl commercial, and sort of the thing I'm not Super Bowl. Did I say Super Bowl? I meant Super Brawl. And the thing with this is like, those old commercials for that hot sauce that was like a bunch of cowboys saying, New York City? That sort of thing here, except it's Jeff Jarrett. And Jeff Jarrett going to basically into a variety of like, those old West places or country places and saying he's going to New York City, and Slapnuts, he's going to win the world championship. And like, we have like some like hillbilly saying, he's not going to do it, and he just drills him with a guitar. He's arrives in New York. Some like haughty New Yorker, says, you don't belong here. You get with the guitar. Again, it's a wacky commercial, but it is what it is. Again, I totally forgot he got the world title shot last Super Bowl. That's just funny to me. That's gonna be like sort of part of the build-up, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, 72, good stuff as we move on to our next match. I think it's semifinal. So, Kurt Angle, Shane Helms comes out to the ring for his match. Big heel response. He's Shane Helms. He does what he does, and then we get like sort of like a full marching band. Doing, I get first Stars and Stripes Forever because that's royalty free. But then, we get sort of some remix of his WE theme, at least as, again, American made versus real American. That difference as far as the real version, the WCW version. And Angle comes out, just doing his Angle thing, very, this is a version of Angle which in game does not have a addiction, at least one that I found. But who knows? I might get that popular any time. I just don't know. I haven't actually gone into the back end and checked because I don't want to check that. But he comes out, this gets to 73, and the match is freaking on. I've played this game for probably 1,000 hours. I don't know. Throw in my, couple hours every time I do a show, plus other series, plus just, downtime. And I still make stupid goddamn mistakes. So, I actually know how to play this off. I actually know, a backstage, quasi-realistic reason to back this off. So, I'll just start with it. I put them all out for 25 minutes. Obviously, that was dumb. What I meant to do was I meant to do it as a regular match. And then, just not do a slow build and have that sort of be the story of the match. But for some reason, the back of my head thought they could still do all out as long as I didn't get a stamina warning for it. So yeah. Unfortunately, we got a bad rating for this, but it's not the end of the world. It's still a really good match. As an exceptional match, it just happened to get a bad rating, which I'll go over in a second. But it's not the end of the world or anything. So, the first part of this match, which I'm going to go over now, is basically, it's Kurt Angle. What he's really good at? Freaking wrestling. And Helms, actually tries. He tries, and he gets a little bit of offense in. Eventually, he realizes, oh, right, I'm not an Olympic medalist. And he cheats. Angle's taking him down, throwing him around, wrestling around, getting pinfalls, locking submissions. Eventually, Helms what he does is he just, headbutts Angle. And then he, pits him with a sort of, a quick sort of, shitty, shin kick. And he takes back advantage. And then Shane Helms, does what he needs to do here against Kurt Angle, which is attack Angle's neck. Because whole broken thing, but also, his finisher hits him right in the back of the neck. So we get, lots of shots to the neck, takedowns, suplexes. But Angle's Kurt Angle, so he fights back. He reverses. He hits his own belly to bellies. He hits his own Germans. He goes for the Angle lock early, but Helms is always right there to get to the ropes quickly and make sure he doesn't completely lock it in. Angle even goes for the Angle slam early, but Helms gets out of it. He flips out of it, hits a jawbreaker, and this is, the first early pin. It's, let's say 13, 15 minutes in. Angle, he goes for the Angle slam. Helms gets out of it. Boom. Super kick. Helms immediately goes off the ropes. Nightmare on Helm Street, which is sort of a, kick to the back of the head, quasi-shining wizard. Goes to the pinfall. 1, 2, Angle kicks out. Interesting. Helms is not freaking about that. He thought, okay, maybe I'll get the big win here. But he doesn't do the heel, oh my god. Because he actually wasn't expecting to win. He was hoping for the win, but he wasn't this is the end of the world. But then he sets it up, and he goes for another Nightmare on Helm Street, but Angle gets out of the way, and then, it's Angle suplexing some fools. But Helms, again, fights back. This is a former world champion, a former top guy, main event of Stargate. Kurt Angle's Kurt Angle, but hey, Shane Helms, at least in this version of reality, is Shane friggin' Helms. And late on, Angle goes for another Angle slam and actually nails it. But as he goes for the ankle lock, Helms turns into a rolling reverse cradle for almost a near fall, but out of it, Helms drills him with another super kick, goes off the ropes, hits the Nightmare on Helm Street, but then he maybe makes his big mistake. Because he realizes, oh wait, I can't beat Angle this way. So he picks him up for a move he hasn't done in a while. Unless I said he did it prior, which, retcon. He actually goes for the vertebreaker, but he can't quite get Angle ready because Angle's fighting. And Angle, sort of slides out of it. Belly to belly, German, Angle slam, ankle lock, tap out. So yeah, this got a 76 because I'm an idiot. Again, I put for 25 minutes. I should have either only done 20 or I should have done this, It's, again, not the end of the world. Helms got dinged for stamina, which is fine. But yeah, this still. I mean, Angle still got an 82 here, which I'm sort of. Oh, he was off his game. Angle, it's your first night here, buddy. Don't be off your game. Also, Helms got a 90. Here, what did Angle? Actually, I'm wondering, what did Angle get dinged for? Okay, inconsistency, stamina. Ooh, poor gimmick. Okay, I might have to actually look into fixing that because I didn't realize he had a poor gimmick. But yeah, Angle wins. Angle gets the ankle lock, and hopefully this will just be a fun thing where I'm like, oh, hey, remember when I fucked up Kurt Angle's first match? Oh, sorry. Angle celebrates 69, and we move forward to our main event. As first, Sean O'Haire comes out to the ring to a big face pop. Because remember, O'Haire has not really done anything heelish. He's just said he's going to beat AJ Styles because he still thinks he's the best in the business. He's done it before. He can do it again. He respects AJ Styles, but he just thinks he's better. So, this gets 68, and then AJ Styles comes up, big pop, and AJ's getting stale, because, fuck it. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of cheat. I said I was going to cheat a little bit. Actually, I didn't cheat. So, here's the thing. Styles' gimmick is getting stale, which I think doesn't affect him in a match as much, because there's no ding here. But I checked, and his actually gimmick can't be tweaked any further. So I didn't want to risk a new gimmick on a main event match. So it is what it is. That sort of makes sense, because he's not really the AJ Styles that he's been. I know this isn't actually how the game works, but sometimes the game works in ways that make sense for what's happening, in your booking. Just gotta live with that. But anyway, to the actual match. It's AJ Styles and Sean O'Haire. O'Haire, unfortunately, is slowing down. Again, I don't know. I expected some sort of drug thing. But I'm not going to, actually, what's what I'm looking for here? Actually test him, because, hey, I need him on TV. But I expect there's something going on, or there's something else where he has something secret that hasn't, shown up yet. That can be, hidden attributes. Because he's gone downhill in the past year or so, which is why he's sort of, been depushed, except for the fact that the game wanted me to push him. Thank you, owner. But anyway, here, again, he plays subtle heel, except he can't really play subtle heel. So he's just sort of he just kicks the shit out of AJ Styles the first couple of minutes of this match. He sort of reminds everybody why he was sort of the top rising star. And he just throws around, gorilla press slam, big boot, big suplex, and Styles just gets to play complete, oh my god, I'm getting my ass kicked babyface. O'Haire even goes into his MMA kick styles, get a roundhouse kick, a big drop kick, picks him up, DDT, suplexes, and even goes for a big running knee, and then goes for the Widowmaker early, but AJ turns that into a DDT, and then he goes back on offense. And AJ, hits a couple big moves, hits a, big drop kicks, sends O'Haire to the outside, hits his big flop dive, brawling outside. O'Haire takes back over. He throws him in. He goes for a big knee left. AJ gets out of the way, hits his sort of tries to roll into a calf slicer, but submission. But O'Haire basically immediately powers out of it. AJ gets a couple DDTs in. Goes for eventually hits a few big moves. Hits the big springboard for 50 for near fall. Then goes to the outside, phenomenal forearm, but O'Haire catches him. He goes for a Widowmaker, but at the last second, AJ turns into a DDT of himself. And then he hits sort of that standing springboard moonsault into a DDT, inverted DDT, which always gets a big pop. He sends O'Haire into the corner, hits the Pele kick for a big pop. Tries to set him up for the Styles Clash, but O'Haire powers it out into an electric chair drop that actually turns into a powerbomb to a huge pop. And O'Haire then drills him with the big boot, drills him with the clothesline, hits the power slam, sets him up for the Widowmaker, and boom, nails it. 1, 2, AJ gets a foot on the ropes. O'Haire's upset, but hey, he picks him for another one, but AJ turns into a rolling cradle for a near fall, and then AJ's back on offense. He basically, is playing stick and move, and he eventually, O'Haire rushes into the corner. He's able to nail the Pele kick in, and then he hits him with again, the sort of like modified moonsault into a DDT. Again, hits a sort of springboard discus clothesline. Goes outside, drills him with a phenomenal forearm, hits him with another phenomenal forearm, and goes for it one more time, but O'Hare catches him. Widowmaker, no. DDT right in the middle of the ring, sort of sloppily rolls into a style clash. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, and still WCW World Champion, is AJ Styles. 83, again, not the best. Car commentator, O'Hare only gets a 75, but AJ gets a 94 because he's AJ fucking Styles. And 83 overall, again, sort of not our best pay-per-view. Was there anything really ding for it? Okay, face heel combination, O'Hare stamina, everything else is what I expected. But yeah, not the end of the world. Really, like, I really wanted that Angle Helms match to be like a 93 or something. Shit happens. Anyway, at the end of the show, Styles extends his handshake. O'Hare looks at him, and he just rolls out of the ring. Like he doesn't attack him, but he just sort of like, he just shrugs and says, nah, and rolls out and heads to the back. As the youngsters put over, AJ Styles has defeated a former world champion in Sean O'Hare, and takes on the chosen one, Jeff Jarrett, at Super Brawl in 4 weeks in New York. Overall, we get a 84. Okay. Not our best. Again, sort of the ending here totally effed us up. RVD Evans was our best match. Honestly, it was like Osei and Skipper were part of our second best match. That's kind of amazing. Yeah, again. So, who gets credit? Hey, it's Skipper. You did great, buddy. Honestly, let's see here. Let's say, Kurt Angle, given a hug because I fucked up your first match. And honestly, Kanyon, thanks for doing business. Skipper seemed pleased, Angle seemed pleased, Kanyon seemed pleased. So yeah, we'll do our usual post-match and post-pay-per-view check-ins of the various ratings and such, and see, if anybody else is out there. If anything weird pops up, of course, I'll go over that. But yeah, that's a show. Again, disappointed. Like, I wanted if Angle and Helms would have popped as it should have, that probably would have been like an 86, 87, maybe even an 88, depending on how good the Angle Helms match was, because of how the ratings work. Again, and here's the thing. That's why I'm actually okay not knowing every, I know there are people out here who know every single bit and way to trick and how to exactly fix the game. But, here's the thing. In reality, that was sort of an 84 pay-per-view. It was a main event, face versus face match, like a big match, but not like a huge match the way O'Hare is booked. Angle Helms, I expect the internet and to be like, oh, Angle's totally going over. Everything else is sort of, it is what it is. And oh yeah, one thing is because if you remember, the women's had a bad reaction to Impact, so I just made a small women's fed. We'll see what they do there. All right, so Clash of Champions. Yeah, we still got feedback. Okay. Oh, here's the thing. If we shut that down, I'm just going to put it on the WCW network, so don't be bad. Yeah, expiring, Morgan's contract expiring, which I'll deal with. So, first check-in, medical, Jason Jett. Oh my god, that sucks, buddy. Oof. That is not what we call great. Okay, well, shit. This may lead to some rethinking, but he can work. It just sucks. It sucks, and I'm a bad boss if I make him work, but I might make him work. That's unfortunate. Let me just look at my broadcasting, because I want to double check what we have to get for pay-per-views. I swear to God, if it was an 85, I'm really going to be pissed. Oh, no, wait. Hold on. Why are you upset? We got an 84. You wanted an 84. I want to make sure. No, oh, wait, was it an 80? No. Okay. This I'm actually confused by. Again, you see this, right? You see this, folks. This says 84. right? I'm not blind. I'm not being dumb. And then we look at... Is this a case where, like, we got an 83.8 in game, but it... Oh, God. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. Just give us 83 unless we get to an 84. I'm okay getting an 83.9999 and being an 83. God damn it. Sorry, I'm just mad because I'm really upset that that's what's going on, I think. Anyway, ratings. Okay, so challenges everywhere is at an 80. That's not resting on laurels, is at a 80, and guess who gets to remove from this? Bye-bye, Sean. This will probably get heated up as George does a great promo. Revolution is at an 83, Angle's first match. Expanding Horizons at a 78. Moneyman is at an 82. New Effing Show is at an 88. Surprising Challenge is at an 86. Throwing Darkness is at an 81. Top Guys is at an 81. And Who's Glory, which now has Keen Sharp in it and not Jindrak, is at a 75, which I'll probably have to rename. So again, titles. Still, your world champion is AJ Styles. Your world tag team champions are still Booker and Shelton. Your women's world champion is still Nikita Kalt. Your women's world tag team champions are still Annie Vidal and Nikki Redcliffe. Your US champion is still Paul London. And TV champion is still Jamie Noble because he was not in the show. And Cruiserweight champion is still Maverick Chains. If we actually look into some stuff here. If we just go to brand, Revolution. There we go. That's the best way to do it. All right, so. Oh, right. I forgot about. Okay. AJ, did you go past... really beginning to think 86 is pocket. And I know somebody mentioned if we make him get bigger or do something, get more muscular. Unfortunately, I asked him to get more ripped, and he said no. I think I'll check his size. Like, let me just make sure. Physical. Right, okay. Yeah, I asked him if we could get more muscular, and he said no, I think. Anyway, not the end of the world for that, but, anybody else who I care? Oh, yeah, Nikita Kalt. Let me see here what her rating is, her popularity is like. Not you, Nick Patrick. Again, not you, her. Okay, yeah, I mean, she didn't gain a bunch because, well, she just wrestled somebody a lot lower than her. Anybody else? Shelton, let's see how you're doing now that you're a World Tag Champion and you're getting a big push. That's what we like to see, folks. I mean, he actually went down a point, weirdly. But yeah, he's like, look. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at that beautifulness. Anybody else that I'm just not thinking about? No, okay. Because everybody else we can sort of like see on the show. So, if we go to brands, Revolution. Angel Foxx. Yeah. Decent push. And now she's at least up to the 60s, which isn't bad. Let's see here. Billy Kidman. Kidman is down a little bit. Check Palumbo. Did he lose a lot for doing the job here? A couple points. He's not quite at the heights he was like as he was a world champion, but it's not the end of the world. Gail Kim, did you get dinged a lot by losing? Actually, kind of, yeah. Oof. All right. Well, I know what I'm doing with you. Well, I mean, actually do. Jason Jett, did you get a lot by beating Hardys? A point. Hey, could be worse. Same thing with Cash. How did you guys do by beating Hardys? Okay. Oh, and I totally forgot the whole thing where, yeah, Matt Hardy would hate him because he slept with Lito, who slept with Triple. Okay, yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, okay. That's actually funny. Let's see here. Jack Evans, did you lose a lot by doing the job to RVD? Nope, a point. Not the end of the world. Let's see. Jeff Hardy, did you lose a lot by doing the job to these guys? Again, yes, but you still be rebuilt to get back to this point because I sort of like killed off Hardy a little bit to put Ninkeo over, put AMW over, and now I guess put sort of you guys are probably on drugs, at least you, Jeff, so you're doing jobs until I'm ready for you. Kanyon lost a point from doing sort of a squash to Monty. Let's see, Angle comes in here, and because I screw up, okay, so how badly, okay, so he lost 2 points because I basically screwed up his first match. That sounds about right. Mesias, part of your rebuild, buddy. Okay, gained a point. I wanted more, but could be worse. Monty Brown, same thing. Okay, you beat Kid. Okay, up 4 points. That's good. After doing the job at Starcade. So now let's see if we can break through this pop cap, which I think is a pop cap. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm kind of thinking it is. Prince Nana, okay, yeah, up. You're back above 50, which you were for most of the year, until I do some jobs along with Elix. And Elix is just about where he was when he was Cruiserweight Champion forever. That's good. Let's see here. Oh, let's check out the women. Hey, oh right, that's a no, which I'll check at the end here. Sean O'Hare, did you get hurt by jobbing? Not really, because you lost to basically our top guy. And oh, Van Dam, how are you looking? You are looking beautiful. All right. So yeah, let me do a quick reset, and then we'll find Annie Vidal. Annie, can you hear me? Okay. Actually, not bad. Up a couple points. And yeah, stupidly over in the Southwest because that's where our death is. That's really the funniest thing is, like, I could put on, like, I could probably have an all-women's pay-per-view as long as I had to happen in Los Angeles. Or Southwest or wherever. Like, that's something I'm like quasi thinking about doing. Maybe if I get really bored, is like an all-women's pay-per-view as sort of like a Glow homage in Las Vegas. Like, that's just silly enough. I might try to do it. But yeah, these guys are almost basically being ready to be on TV regularly in big angles on their own. So yeah, here we are. So again, plan. I'm really hoping what I can do is get everything basically done for the Thanksgiving holiday. Again, you should have a show on Friday, and then Monday after Thanksgiving, and then the Friday after Thanksgiving. I won't be. I'll again. You guys probably don't care. But I'll be on vacation basically from basically the Wednesday before Thanksgiving to the Wednesday after Thanksgiving. But I'm hoping to at least have everything up to, like, basically this will be up today. I'm hopefully doing a video to get up on Friday and another video to get up on Monday. Obviously nothing really else, none of my extra stuff, but it is what it is. Also, hopefully have, new awards up for those days as well. And again, if you haven't voted yet, you can still vote in all the awards. I'll basically like ending them as far as like what I care about, as far as who actually won, by the end of the in-game month, and we'll see after that. But that's for now. If you enjoyed this, go and leave a like. Comment below what you're liking and not liking, and subscribe to the channel for plenty of all this content at the moment, and hopefully other stuff at some point. But that's for now. Thank you later, and adios.